From the Real Estate Center at Texas A&M University, it's the Real Estate Red Zone. We are your weekly scouting report for residential, commercial, retail, and industrial markets and everything in between. Today is Thursday, October 11th, 2012, which, as our boss, Senior Editor David Jones, pointed out to me just moments ago, that makes today 10/11/12. Did you catch that?
That's phenomenal.
Isn't that clever?
Very.
Well, I'm Bryan Pope, Recon Editor here at the Real Estate Center.
And I'm Edie Craig, Newstalk Texas and Market Report Coordinator. This week, Dr. Jim Gaines on how the outcome of the upcoming presidential election could impact real estate markets. But first, the latest news out of Houston, Austin, Taylor, Weatherford, Bryan, Corpus Christi, Lubbock, Abilene, Amarillo, and the Rio Grande Valley. Bryan has today's top story first.
That's right. Crescent Resources, LLC, in partnership with Taylor Duncan Interest Incorporated, a Dallas-based land developer, has acquired 250 acres for a new single-family residential community in Oak Point, which is just north of Dallas. Plans are underway for a master plan community of 700 to 800 single-family homes. Development is expected to begin in the next 18 to 24 months. The property fronts Shahan Prairie Road, 1/4 mile east of FM 720. The development will include a community amenity center and 2 and 4 acre ponds. Crescent expects prices to range from the mid 200,000s to the 300,000s. And now we will go ahead and move into today's Recon Recap. Marathon Petroleum Corporation is shelling out $2.5 billion for BP's Texas City oil refinery and a portion of its Southeast retail and logistics network. According to a company fact sheet, the refinery was BP's largest, spanning 1,200 acres and processing 475,000 barrels of oil per day. The sale is expected to close in early 2013. That story came from the Houston Business Journal, and here's another one. American Spectrum Realty Incorporated has sold Beltway Industrial Park. The park consists of 23 buildings and totals 389,000 square feet. It is located in northwest Houston off of Beltway 8 at West Little York Road. American Spectrum acquired the industrial park 5 years ago. A real estate investment firm with offices in San Francisco and Boston purchased 2 historic buildings in downtown Austin, reports the San Francisco Business Times. Divco West acquired the Littlefield and Scarborough buildings from Heitman LLC. The buildings total about 240,000 square feet and are at 6th and Congress Streets. The more than 110,250 square foot Littlefield building at 106 East 6th Street is 86% leased. Meanwhile, at 101 East 6th Street, the roughly 129,900 square foot Scarborough building is 93% leased. Both buildings are on the National Register of Historic Places. We will finish off down in the valley in Weslaco with an item from Valley Pro Business News. The Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council has received almost $1.6 million from the U.S. Department of Commerce's Economic Development Administration. The money will cover half of the construction costs of the Center for International Economic Development Opportunities in Weslaco. The facility will include economic development, business service and emergency service agencies, and promote business expansion and increased international trade. It will service the regions served by the Lower RGV Development Council, including Cameron, Hidalgo, and Willacy counties. And now, Edie, what's happening in small towns, big deals?
Bryan, where is the zest of Texas? Do you remember?
I don't offhand.
Well, I understand. It's near Austin in Taylor where they had the Give a Lot incentive. Now Taylor wants to change the amount of empty buildings in downtown. The city is offering money to people who want to rent or lease buildings to open retail businesses. Under the new incentive program, for 10 months, the city will pay half of the rent or mortgage payment for a building up to $750 per month. The Economic Development Corporation is also offering to pay for half of the work done on the facade of a building, up to $9,000 for businesses coming to downtown. You'll find this under Austin. It's called Downtown Taylor Offers Retail Incentives. We're heading to Weatherford, west of Fort Worth. The Canyon West Golf Club and the surrounding property of Mickles Valley View Ranch at Clubhouse Drive and Interstate 20 sold at auction for almost $5 million. The 506 acres were split into 27 tracts, with the Canyon West Golf Course being the largest. The golf course sold as a single tract for $2.25 million, while 12 tracts along Interstate 20, that totals 154 acres, were grouped and sold to a single developer for $1.7 million. You'll find this under Dallas-Fort Worth. It's called Putting Green to Weatherford Canyon West. If you need information for September apartment data for Corpus, Lubbock, Abilene, Amarillo, and more cities, go to News Talk Texas and click on the yellow State of Texas icon. Then you can click on Search News Talk Texas on the left and type in ALN, where you will find occupancy rate, units added, floor plan breakdown information, and the link to ALN apartment data, and they are out of Carrollton, Texas. Thank you so much for doing that every month. Just search ALN. Gee, Bryan, I wonder if anyone knows the difference between an equine and a horse. Well, an equine is any member of the family Equidae, which includes modern horses, zebras, and asses. So, cannons boomed in Bryan for construction of the $35 million Phase 1 of the new Texas A&M Equine Complex. Initial construction will include new facilities for the Parsons Mounted Cavalry and Texas A&M Equestrian Team, a home course for the cross-country track team, and an outreach and education center. When completed, the $80 million complex will provide a home for equine science. You'll find this under College Station Bryan. It's called Cavalry Saddles Up in Aggieland.
All right. Thanks, Edie. Houston Realtor Shannon Register recently welcomed Real Estate Center research economist Dr. Jim Gaines to her Houston Real Estate Radio show to talk about the housing market. And with the presidential election just weeks away, she also asked Dr. Gaines his thoughts on the impact the election outcome will have on real estate markets. Here's an excerpt from that discussion.
The elections, I'm sure you watched the debates, the first round of the debates this week, and, the elections...
Actually, I was on the road.
You were on the road. You missed it.
I was on the road.
Well, I was live streaming it. I didn't watch it on TV. I was live streaming it. But, it's interesting. There seems to be... a lot of talk about how that first debate went. So it's going to be interesting how the next one goes. But I guess my question is, how much is that really going to impact Houston's economy, depending on who gets elected and what happens come November?
Well, the general feel is that there's sort of a major difference between the two candidates for president, particularly in relation to their energy policy and their attitudes toward oil and gas companies and oil and gas and petrochemical operations in the first place. How real that is, or how it would get manifested into actual action that made a difference to Houston. I think the answer to that is look at what the major oil and gas companies are doing, and it doesn't look like they're letting up too much. And they're probably more attuned to who's going to win and who isn't than we are. But they are moving forward because they know that fundamentally the country has to have energy. We've got to have oil and gas. It fuels everything that we do. That's a pun. And so they're making the investments of the future almost irrespective of who wins. Now, they know they're going to have all of these incidental issues, the environmental issues, the gas tax issues, the clean air issues. They know they're going to have to face them, actually, no matter who's elected.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I hear both. I hear that whoever gets elected, it's not going to impact our economy that much because we've got so much organic growth going on. And then I hear other people saying it is going to have an impact because it's going to impact small businesses and, it's going to impact housing issues, could impact interest rates. So I hear both sides of it.
And that means that really nobody knows.
Yeah, that is what that means, isn't
exactly.
it?
I think it was Roosevelt said he always wanted a one-handed economist because they were always coming in and saying, on the one hand it's this, but on the other hand it's that. And there is, and actually what you've just identified, Shannon, is probably some of the problem, and that is the uncertainty. We don't know. We don't have a clear vision of which way everything's going to go. And I have been making the comment to others, regardless of the election, one of the, on the political side, perhaps the biggest influence we'll have will be from the non-elected people in government bureaucracies that are running the agencies and the regulators that are writing rules and regulations and so forth that everybody has to follow, from the EPA to the Consumer Finance Protection Board, to FCC, to all of these people, the Energy Department. They're all writing these rules. They're not elected officials, but they're writing the rules that were made through these laws that were so broad that nobody knows what they're going to be.
Right. I mean, there are some parts of the Dodd-Frank that still haven't been explained and elaborated on, and people are still guessing what to do.
Absolutely. It's the majority of them. Dodd-Frank required something on the order of a little over 300 regulations to be written. And to date, they've written about 78 or 80 or something like that. And so, for example, the financial institutions, Dodd-Frank, for example, was supposed to say what a qualified mortgage is. They haven't defined.
They still haven't defined it, yeah.
They still haven't defined. They were supposed to also define what it meant for a lender to do adequate due diligence on the ability of a borrower to repay the loan.
And I think that's one of our issues.
Again, that was Dr. Jim Gaines speaking on Shannon Register's Houston Real Estate Radio Show. If you'd like to listen to the entire interview, and I highly recommend that you do, it's posted in 3 parts on YouTube. I've posted links to all 3 segments on our podcast webpage. And Shannon, if you're listening, thank you so much for allowing us to use this clip today.
She won our blog award, didn't she?
She did, yes. I believe that was 2 or 3 summers ago. Yes, she did.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Be sure to link to our podcast page from your own website or blog. And while you are online, become our friend on Facebook. And do follow us on Twitter. He's posted stuff today. I said, well, where's that going? So you need to go see what Bryan posted. We will keep you posted on the latest happenings here at the Real Estate Center.
Also, we want to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions about today's show, send us an email at texrec, that's TEXREC, at recenter.tamu.edu. From the Real Estate Center, where we've been helping Texans make better real estate decisions for more than 40 years, this is Bryan Pope.
And this is Edie Craig. Thank you for joining us today in the Real Estate Red Zone. Bye everyone.